So there you go.
Well, there we go. Hello, hello. Happy Friday evening.
It is.
Welcome to Raincross Farms Makery. We're so glad you're here. My name's Robin. Behind the computer and behind the camera is Bill. And we are, did I already say we're Raincross Farms Makery? We're coming to you just outside of Lewiston, Idaho. And we like to be crafty. We like to do crafts. We like to show them to you and share them with you to inspire you and to teach you. So actually that kind of is the inspiration for this craft. So when you pop on, say hello, let us know you're here. If you're new, let us know where you're from, because we like to know where you're from. We told you where we're from.
We're nosy. Nosy too.
Okay, let me pull up the live on my phone. What am I wearing so I can see it? There it is.
I suppose I could share it too.
Okay. Oh, that's right. I'm going to share this. So I'm going to take just a minute. Hi, Patty. I'm going to take just a minute, and I'm going to.
There's Patty and there's Cheryl, pets and friends.
Okay, and
yeah,
I'm going to
see if you can stay awake this time so Robin doesn't put you to sleep, Cheryl.
And how about this one? Okay.
I promise I won't ask silly fifth grader questions again if it drives them away.
Hello, Cheryl. So, you know what to do. Like or love our page, follow our page, and if you are so willing, share your page out. Share this video out to your page, to some crafty friends of yours, or to a craft group that you're a part of. So we would certainly appreciate that. So a couple people hopping on. I hope you're feeling better, Cheryl. Hope you got a good night's sleep. Okay, so.
Stranger thing, I couldn't get to sleep for nothing last night. I can remember 3 a.m.
That's about the time I woke up.
But then I woke up at 7:30 and I went for the whole day, so.
Yeah, I slept fine until about 3:30, and then I thought, I think I better get up. Nothing to do. Toss and turn. My 6 inches on the bed because the dogs encroach. So, tonight's craft. Let me give you the backstory. I spend a lot of time on Facebook and Pinterest looking at new crafts, ideas, and there was one of the craft groups I'm in on Facebook, someone who I don't even know her name, so she shall remain nameless, or he, posted some roses that she had made out of coffee filters, and they were beautiful. And of course, she got lots of comments. Those are beautiful. Those are beautiful. And over and over and over, people asked her, how did you make those? Can you share how you made those? And the response was, well, YouTube has videos. Really? You got people begging to learn how to do this, and you shoo them off to YouTube. So that kind of made me a little perturbed. I mean, yeah, to each their own, but it just seemed a little, I don't know. I go onto craft groups to get ideas and to share and to learn from each other, and that's how I think it should be. And apparently that's not everybody's take on craft groups. And this person wasn't the only one. I'd seen these roses other places, and it's like, it's a big secret. You have to go to YouTube and find it yourself. So I went to YouTube and found it myself. I found a bunch of different videos, and I'm not going to tell you to just go look on YouTube. I'm going to show you how to do it.
Oh yeah, go look on YouTube. We'll post the video after this.
Well, yeah, you can look on my video on YouTube afterwards, but I'm going to show you how to do it. So, hello, other Patty. Nope, you're the same Patty. We just have one Patty tonight, I think, so far. Anyway, so I'm going to show you what I learned and my version of making roses out of coffee filters. Let me show you my sample. Here's my sample. Is that? Tell me what you think of that.
I'm gonna go over the top too.
Tell me what you think of that. If I hadn't told you it was a coffee filter, would you have thought that maybe that was a real rose, except my green leaves are kind of faded? Anyway, this is what I'm going to show you how to make. Not difficult at all. So, coffee filter roses. So you can get your coffee filters at the Dollar Tree. That's where I got these. Coffee filters at the Dollar Tree. You're going to need about, for each rose, you're going to need about 8 for the petals and 1 for the leaves if you choose to do that. So you need about 9 or 10 per. So this is 150. You could make 15 roses out of 1 package of these. Okay. So you're also going to need, what I used is these little wooden skewers. Doesn't even say wooden skewers, but Dollar Tree. I'm not certain I got this exact packet at the Dollar Tree, but I know Dollar Tree has the little wooden skewers that, you put your little shish kebab things on. So you need a pack of those. Or you could use some really heavy floral wire, especially if you wanted to kind of bend the roses. This you can't bend, but super easy to get. Okay. And let's see, you'll need some floral tape. It's sticky, and it gets really sticky when you stretch it, so you stretch and pull, and we're going to wrap the stem with this. Okay. They do have this at the Dollar Tree. I think I got this at Walmart, but I have seen floral tape at the Dollar Tree. And this is kind of a dark green. You might want a lighter green. You might not. Okay, so let me show you how we do this. So I'm going to start, because this is kind of tedious, because these things are like stuck together, is I'm going to count out about 9 of these.
About 9?
Yeah, because they stick together, so
it might be 10.
it might be
8.
10, but I want to try. Okay, now I lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You don't know how bad I want to give you a
7,
hard time about the counting.
9. Okay, so I've got about 9 of these, and it actually will kind of help if you kind of separate them a little bit, not a lot, but just kind of separate them a bit. I'll show you why in a minute, because we are going to tint these.
You're going to what?
Tint them. Now, if you wanted white roses, you don't have to do anything to these. But if you want them a color, now I've seen some people who paint them with watercolors. I don't have time for that. But if you like painting with watercolor, you want to do that, that's fine. I'm going to show you my simple way. So I've got my 9 here. Now, this is my leftover, because these are the ones that I made up ahead of time, because these won't dry in time. But I wanted them kind of a light pink, medium pink. So what I did is I got our Chalkology paste. Because you know how I tell you that sometimes its pigment is so strong it stains our transfers? Well, that's a good thing, because you don't need very much of it to make a little color bath. So this is my leftover. So I'm going to stick this in here, because I didn't want to waste that. But all that is water and chalk paste. I'm sure you could use chalk paint just as well. You could probably use acrylic paint. I haven't tried that though, but you want to get some deep, vibrant colors. So I probably used about that much paste, but I already have most of that, so I'm not going to use as much. And I'm going to just kind of put that down there in the bottom. And I'm going to get some water. Now this is not distilled water because I'm not going to put this back in the jar because it's going to be just way too watered down. And I would really mess up the consistency. But you could use any color.
I'm not sure which way to go here.
This is Couture Coral.
What was the color?
Couture Coral. So this is that coral. It's kind of a pinky, it's a little bit of orange in it. I mean, you can see the color right there.
Coral.
It's a coral. And
you could pick up any of the colors if you're tinting the paper.
The one thing I noticed about this is our paste wants to stay paste. It doesn't really want to completely dissolve, at least not easily. So what I did is I put it in a screw top jar and shook it up. I stirred it up as much as I could, and then I shook it up. The first time I did it, there were little clumps of paste, but that's okay because it kind of left little splotches on the coffee filters, and flowers are not necessarily solid colors. Some of them are a little variegated. Okay, so I've got this mixed up. So I'm just going to add this to this. You don't need a lot. You can always make more, so err on the side of less. So I'm going to take these coffee filters, I'm just going to keep them stacked up, and I'm going to dunk them in. And I'm going to turn it over, and you can use any color. You can use yellow or red and our peaches and purples. You could use blues if you want. If you wanted to get really creative, you could kind of do a variegated tie-dye thing. Okay, but I'm just sticking that, I'm just getting that color onto my coffee filters. Would not have known it was made out of coffee filters. I know. Okay, so next I get a big old bath towel, and I got a dark colored one. So if any of this stains, I haven't ruined a white bath towel. So I'm going to take this little clump out, and I'm going to try really hard to separate them. And if you can't separate them, that's okay. Put them together. You know, you get a couple. You'll be able to separate it later. And then I'm just laying it out on the towel to dry. And it probably takes, I don't know, if you just let it air dry, less than an hour, maybe even 30 minutes, depending on your temperature. So, now here's a couple that don't want to come apart. There, I found an edge.
So we're going to get to sit here and talk for 30 to 40 minutes while they dry.
No, I'm just showing you how
It's the magic of
Facebook. And separate them. And if you can't get them separated, separate them after they dry, because they're really not going to stick together. You can peel them apart after they've dried. It'll take longer to dry.
Okay, it's just making me hungry for tortillas and salsa now.
Come on. Now, I was surprised at how sturdy coffee filters are. I thought it'd kind of be like tissue paper and they would kind of dissolve. They don't. They are a pretty sturdy material. Okay, I can't get that apart. I'm not going to make you sit and watch, but so I've got them all laid out. They're very pale, but when they dry a little bit darker. So I'm going to set this aside. Hopefully I won't step on it. And if the dogs happen to get up and drink that water, it's okay because it's non-toxic. So I'm gonna fold this up, but ordinarily I would just have you air dry it until they're dry. You could get a hair dryer or your quick dry tool and dry them up a little faster if you wanted to. Anyways, and then you want to do a couple of them in green. for your leaves and for the calyx, the little cup that holds the flowers, the petals. Okay, so you want at least one green, maybe a couple, depending on how many roses you're going to make. So I'm going to take, I think I'm going to take 2 sets of 4. I'll just keep that side. This one actually got some green on it. That's okay. You wouldn't know. Okay, so I've got 4 of them just in a pile, and I'm going to fold it in half. Fold it in half, and I think I'm going to fold it one more time.
It'll be an 8.
8s. And then you can eyeball it, but I'm going to draw this so you can see what I'm going to do. We're going to make it, get a pen that writes. We're going to kind of cut a ice cream cone shape out of this. Okay. So you see where I'm going to cut? And if I have sturdy enough scissors, I can do these all at once. If your hands are not as strong as you'd like, or you could always do it with just 2 or 3, but I can pretty much get 4 of them.
Wonder Woman.
So I've got that, and I'm not going to need that. And I'm going to do the same thing here. In half, in 4ths, in 8ths. It's not super crucial that it's exact, but we want it to be pretty close. And again, you don't have to draw it. You can just freehand it if you like. Ta-da! Okay, so now we're going to undo this. And now I'm going to cut the hearts apart. See how it kind of looks like hearts? I'm going to cut the hearts apart. And then inside here, I have another set. So I'll open that up and cut those hearts apart. And then these will be my petals. And the secret is in just gluing them on. And I'm just going to stack them up.
So the final cut is actually making them into their hearts. Do they unfold into another set?
No, I mean from here, no. Now I've just...
They're single. You're just
cut
making
them.
a whole
They're
bunch
just
of hearts.
Yes. Okay, so hopefully you saw what I did, and if not, watch the replay. So I've got this whole stack of hearts that are actually going to become petals on
I
my
thought you were going to ask me to be your Valentine.
Maybe. Okay, now I have a glue gun. I am using my low temp glue gun, and I need to replace this. I need to add a new stick to attach that. Okay. So low temp, depending on your glue gun, I can pretty much touch this pretty soon right after without burning myself. Depends on the temperature of yours, so you might need to get some of those little silicone fingers or something like that. Now this first one, I just take one of these and I just kind of fold it over like that, because I'm going to get that little centerpiece, that very center, which is kind of like really, really tightly coiled. So that's just one of these. And I'm going to start by, I'm going to just put a little glue right here. Now I don't want the stick up above this. So I'm going to put the stick down maybe 1/8 of an inch or so, and then I'm just going to roll it. Kind of snug, it doesn't have to be super, super tight, but kind of snug like that. And then I'm going to take just a little dot of glue and
So when you said you don't want the stick above, you're talking, you don't want it sticking out.
I don't want, I glued it down. I don't want the stick up above this. I want like 1/4 of an inch of the tissue paper before the stick starts. I don't want to see the stick. Okay. Now the first couple of rows I'm going to do with my hearts, but I'm going to kind of, it's got a little funky thing. I'm going to kind of shorten them because it goes around the center. So I'm going to just fold that up maybe about 1 inch. Not crucial again, and you don't even have to do this, but I'm just going to take some glue and put it across there, and I'm going to, should have started on the end. I'm going to just start rolling that on. And then kind of pinch it, and some of the petals will fall out. That's okay. We're going to wrap it up with the next layer. Okay, so I'm still kind of tight. I'll do another one. Again, fold it up about 1 inch. And I could cut it, but I kind of like the extra bulk in there to kind of spread this out. Now I'm going to, that's there. I'm going to kind of overlap it, and so, and you can kind of see it's starting to loosen up, and I just kind of keep pinching this down here. I take the next one, and you can kind of see where this goes. We're just going to get through this whole stack. It's not a super fast process. I mean, it takes a good while. I think once you got used to it, you could build up some speed. But we'll see how long it takes to make one of these. Okay. So again, I'm trying to not completely match up the curves. I'm trying to offset the curves. Overall, it's like if they match up on one row right away, it's not that big of a deal, but eventually you kind of want to change that out. So let's just kind of rolling that in.
And you're only gluing the base.
I'm just gluing the base.
And then are you making the bottom, the base all line up and the tops just land wherever they want to?
Sort of. It depends on if I fold them up evenly. I'm really paying attention to the top because this is all going to be covered up anyway. So you just go one at a time, glue and glue and go. Yeah, Cheryl, you could trim it, but I kind of like the extra bulk in there. Kind of makes the flower a little stiffer. Now, when we get towards the outside, then we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to actually leave them long. Okay. And then you kind of start relaxing the roll a little bit. You can kind of see it's getting pulled out from the center a little bit more. Joanne. Okay, let's see. Let's put that right there. Okay, and then eventually it gets wide enough and you're no longer going around. It kind of just only get part way. Okay. So I think I'm going to do one more folded, and then the rest I'm going to do unfolded. Okay.
Hi, Pamela. And Joanne says she doesn't cook
Pamela.
tonight.
Welcome from Oklahoma. Welcome,
What
Joanne.
part of Oklahoma?
Okay, so here we go. Kind of see that? And I'm kind of pinching it in here. Okay, so now we're gonna, if you wanted to stop there, you could. You'd have a little bud shape, but we're gonna do a full one. Now I'm gonna stop folding it up, and I'm just going to kind of put the glue in a V shape. And there. It's so quiet. It's so quiet. Okay.
Joanne says some internet is better than no internet.
I guess that's true. Okay. And
It's not so quiet. I'm sitting here chatting. I was trying to find out what part of Oklahoma she's from. She said the southwest area.
So, well, we are making roses out of coffee filters. So we have dyed the coffee filters. We just used watered down chalk paste. And we dried them. And now we are gluing on petals. And again, I'm using hot glue, but I'm using the low temp, so I don't burn my little fingers. So my rose is starting to fill out, and I'm going to make sure that I am getting that glued to the stick. Some more. I know you're all mesmerized, right?
We're all mesmerized. Duke is especially mesmerized. He's sitting down in my lap saying, wow, look at mom go. Something for me to chew as soon as she puts it down.
No.
You're making the roses for Duke, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
Joanne, these roses would probably fit your style really well.
Hey, you could make them for that wedding that you're...
Yeah, which reminds me, are you coming up for the wedding? Are you coming up to Montana for the wedding? Pam says she's about an hour from Oklahoma City. We have cousins. In fact, one of them had their birthday yesterday, I think, wasn't it, Joanne? Which one of our cousins had a birthday yesterday? And she's out in Choctaw. Oh, she's in Taiwan, yeah. Oh, no, that's Dawn says she has family in Taiwan.
So we keep going, and if something's not quite right, that's okay. You're gonna cover it up with the next row anyway.
I'm gonna go back over the top on that one. See if we can see a little bit closer. Duke is sure having fun watching you tonight. He normally doesn't pay that close of attention. He's having a good time tonight. What'd you do with your sister, Duke? Did she go upstairs? Did Daisy go upstairs? Where's Daisy? Daisy went up to her crate, didn't she?
Okay, so I was telling everyone that I saw somebody post on Facebook, one of my craft groups, that she had made roses out of coffee filters, and they were beautiful. But people asked her, how do you make those? Can you give us a tutorial? She wouldn't tell them. It's like this big old secret. No, it's not a big old secret. Her one of the answers was, oh, there's lots of videos on YouTube. And that kind of spurred me on to share the secret with you. So I went to YouTube and learned how to do it. There's lots of different methods. This is actually kind of a combination of methods.
Yes, Joanne, I think this is your style.
And I was thinking, you were talking about you were doing kind of farmhousey. You could use the unbleached coffee filters, the brown. Mm-hmm. That would almost look like burlap.
That's an interesting idea.
You wouldn't have to.
Well, again,
you wouldn't have to dye them.
You dyed these a color you wanted. Mm-hmm. You could dye these any color you want.
Yes.
So as long as you had the pigment to dye it.
But I'm also thinking you could do a very farmhousey look with
just white and natural.
Not even white, with just the natural colored, the unbleached coffee filters. Ooh, I'm gonna have to try that. I don't have any.
I'm surprised you had any coffee filters. You just love your Keurig.
Actually, I have them because they're lint-free. I don't use them as coffee filters.
Yeah,
they're lint-free, so that's why I have them.
That's right, Janet. I knew it was one of them.
So again, we're just going around and around and around. And then eventually, when we're done, we'll kind of pull them out and bend them, kind of roll them back, and it will give it an even better shape. But I'm just getting the petals on right now. Now, I don't think I used all of them on my sample.
My phone keeps stopping, so I'm sure other people are having problems too. But Joanne says she's not traveling. Mm-hmm. She's not coming up to Montana. She said most of her wedding flowers are already there.
Oh, okay.
You only have boots and 12 flower girl hair wreaths. What? You only have boots? Oh, you're talking about boutonnieres.
Oh.
And 12 flower girl hair wreaths. To go.
Well, this would be cute.
You would be gorgeous.
Okay. So let's do a couple more, and then I'll show you how to do the calyx.
Joanne says it's real pretty. I agree. I think it's a good looking crafty flower.
And it takes a bit of time, but it's not hard work.
And you could do it sitting in front of the television or something.
Well, as long as you're paying attention to your glue gun.
Otherwise, you'd burn yourself.
Now you could do it with regular glue, but it would take forever to dry. And at least with this.
So is that base that you're wrapping it on, is it getting pretty thick?
Yeah.
It just keeps going down the stem, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. You keep moving it down the stem.
A little, yeah. Okay, so let's maybe do 3 more. 3 sounds like a good number, don't you think?
I'm okay with numbers. Let me go over the other way.
1. And And
Patty, every night. Every night. Not just tonight.
yep, he does like his brownie points. I don't know what they buy him, but he collects them. He got a treat today.
I did.
We on one of our local Facebook pages, somebody was having an estate sale, and they had all kinds of tools and stuff. And okay, so here.
There went that story.
What? Oh. So anyway, we went and he found some toys. So here's my rose. I'm not done with it. Now, you know, roses have
Thorns. Oh.
This is just an old set of silk flowers. But you can see it's got this is a calyx. This little green doodaddy that Bill's not showing you. So it's got this. I don't know if it's like undeveloped leaves or something, but anyway, it's around this. So we're going to make one of those. And so I did a green coffee filter. So this one I'm going to also fold in eighths. But this I'm going to make kind of like long, skinny.
And again, you're just drawing it
I'm
so
just
that
drawing
you
it
can
so that
see what
you,
you're
yeah.
doing.
I mean, if it helps you, go ahead and draw it. But I'm really just drawing it so that you can see what I'm going to do. So here's the point. And I'm just making these long, skinny, but they're going to be still attached. Trim that. Okay. And then when I open it up, I should have 8 of these, but I don't want 8 of them. Okay. I only want 5
you can do
of them.
5.
I only want 5 of them. So I'm going to cut 3 of them apart, 3 of them off.
I don't know if you saw that.
And I'm going to keep the 5 attached. And then this we're going to actually kind of wrap around, and that kind of will give it a little cup shape. See what I did there? See what I did there? Okay, so I've got this. I'm going to...
All it needs is a stem going down.
Right there. And I'm going to...
Patty said she never knew what that was called before.
It's a calyx.
Joanne says they're putting up walls tomorrow, and we finished the floors today and told the youngsters that in the old days they would have had a barn dance on it before they put up the walls. Absolutely.
Okay, so there we kind of have the calyx. And if you need to kind of tack it down a couple more places, you can go ahead and do that. Oops. Okay. So there, we've got 5 of them, because in nature we usually don't have even numbers. So we have 5 of those. And then we're going to kind of...
What, curl them?
Curl them just with our fingers, or if you wanted to, you could take a pen and kind of wrap them around. But you're basically going to kind of pull them out and curl them. To make...
I suppose if you went too far, it might mess them up too, if you went out too far with it.
But anyway, so you go ahead and do that, and you kind of fuss with it till it's just how you like it. And you've got your fancy little rose. Now, I'm going to take this. Now, these 3 can easily become a set of 3 leaves. Isn't that handy? Okay, so I can kind of bunch those together. Or this is something I also thought of. If you have old silk flowers that you're not using, or you get them at the Dollar Tree and they're only $1 and they're kind of ratty looking, you can always pull off the leaves from that, and you could wrap them on your stem, or you can go ahead and use your extra 3. So I'm going to take this floral tape, and again, it's not sticky until you stretch it. So you kind of have to get this rhythm down of stretching and pulling, and it will stick to itself. So I'm starting way up here at the top, and I'm stretching and pulling, and that's not working. You know what? I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to start with a little bit of hot glue.
Now you're talking.
Because that's not wanting to stick. Too much of an angle.
Well, in the last 5 minutes, that has just been jumpy.
And I'm going to put a little more hot glue before I show you how it is intended to work. But it doesn't want to work on that curve. So I'm hot gluing that up there. Joanne's probably rolling her eyes. What are you
Who's
doing?
rolling her eyes?
Joanne.
She's not rolling her eyes.
Because of how I'm doing this.
She's just glad she's not cooking tonight.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And that's kind of still on.
Well, then who is cooking? If you're not cooking tonight, Joanne, who is?
Dominoes? Okay, so when I get down here,
Hold on,
I'm
you gotta
gonna
get back under the camera. There
I'm
you
going to
go.
start stretching and spinning. Stretch and spin, and all the way down. Stretch and spin, and stretch and spin. All the way to the end, and that sticks to itself because it's kind of a waxy. And now I'm going to do it again. This time I'm going to put those leaves in because honestly I forgot to. And that does not want to stick.
Joanne says never no eye rolling. I know that's not true because I've seen you roll your eyes at me before, girl. That's what big sisters do. They roll their eyes at their dumb little brothers.
Okay. So I'm going to do this again. I'm going to get it started sticking to itself. Maybe this is too dried out. Okay, got it started. Now I'm going to stop there and I'm going to put in the leaves and continue stretching and rolling. Okay, so there we go. Kind of
That's a fine looking piece
out
you got
those
there, Mama.
leaves. And there we have our paper roses. Paper roses.
Yeah. Here we go.
Do you know who sang that?
I know who sang it. It's true. Joanne, do you know who sang Paper Roses? I know she does.
Okay, so here we go. Let me put it in. Now this I did a little bit darker green, and I will go through and I will fluff that out a little bit more. But there we have 2 roses, And I need to do a third because I either want 1 or 3, but those are my roses. Now, I'm not done because I want to show you a chalk project really quick, and I have waxy stuff all over my fingers because we have a transfer that I think goes so well with that. It is, you are handpicked by God. And I just love that. So I thought, let's throw this down on a surface, and then we'll have a little sign to go with our roses that I showed you how to do. It is not a secret. Okay, so we're going to use this frame, and remember, smudge and budge proof once it's dry, but I'm done with this on this frame now. I actually have it on a couple other frames. So I'm going to take it off of this frame. This is one of the frames that we sell. So I'm going to show you how I do that. I'm just going to take water and spray this. And I'm going to let that soak in for a couple of seconds. And I'm going to get out my paste scraper. And have I missed any comments? Have you been taking care of them?
I've been trying. Joanne and I have the brother-sister thing going on.
Okay, so that is, the water is kind of absorbing into that paste, softening it up. And I'm going to take this scraper. It's hard plastic with a beveled edge, but it's not, as long as I'm going along the surface, I'm not gouging the surface. And I'm going to take that paste off. Now I don't have to store away this frame for another season. I can just reuse it, put a new design on it, and I'm good to go. Okay, so you're saying, oh, that didn't work. I can still see it. I'm not done yet.
It said, what?
I'm not done yet. Okay, so I'm going to take...
Cheryl says she's just enjoying the live. We're glad, too. And Joanne said, Paper Moon, that's a great song, too. Yeah, but I won't go down that road.
So I'm just picking up the chunky paste. And now I am going to take my board eraser. And I'm going to get it harvested.
She's getting all the moons mixed up.
And with my board eraser, I'm just going over it, and that is going to pull off all of the rest of that paste. So there will be no ghosting. It will be completely gone. And I can put a new design down.
Upstairs. Duke came down for another snuggle, apparently. He's,
and so I'm going to dry this up.
Upstairs. Oh, you big dog.
Pretty ingenious, don't you think? So I only have to buy one surface, and I can just reuse it over and over and over with whatever design I want. Okay, so I'm going to put that away. I've got this dried off. So this is a 9x12. The inside is 9x12, and it has the little hook things so you can hang it horizontally, vertically. I'm going to make sure I have the hook at the top. I'm going to open up my transfer. You are handpicked by God. I thought that would be very appropriate with our rose. Okay, I'm going to get my fuzzing cloth off.
Tomorrow, it was just dawning on me. I mean, I've seen all the ads and stuff about time change on Sunday, but it just dawned on me that time changes on Saturday night, Sunday morning. So we spring forward an hour, lose an hour of sleep.
Okay, so I'm peeling this off of my backer sheet. It's sticky, so it's adhesive, reusable silkscreen transfer. We don't call them stencils because when you think of stencils, they have openings in all of these spots. And we don't have openings. Where you don't see the green, there is an ultra fine mesh screen.
You know, I'll argue that with you, don't you?
Okay, yes, you're welcome to. I'm not saying they're not stencils. I'm saying we don't call them stencils
Yeah.
because they're mistaken for
Paper stencils.
like a paper stencil.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got that centered.
But
Pushing it down.
after teaching screen printing for 20 years, I'll argue it with you.
Yeah, it's a stencil, but it's got silk screen in the openings,
That's right.
whereas other stencils just have open, and you can't get the detail because there's nothing to hold these things in place. You have to have bridges to get it. But because we have the silk screen, we can use a lot of detail. So pushing down, no air bubbles, and I'm going to use some of my fun 2 new colors and 1 old color. So I'm going to use Shimmer Olive on the leaves, and I'm going to use Shimmer Rose Gold on the words, and this flower that to me looks like a rose. And then I'm going to use Shimmer Orchid on these other flowers. So we're doing a shimmery good job here. So
Just get her going, Jack.
yes, dear.
Get her going, because I want to see this thing.
Let's start with our Shimmer Olive. And our shimmers like to kind of settle. The mica flakes kind of float down to the bottom. So I like to stir them up just right before I use it. And let's see, I'm going to do this on the stems. So I am using my multi-tool, which will allow me to get into some tight spaces. I could tape this off so I don't accidentally get green where I don't want it, but I think I'm okay with my multi-tool.
I'm just impatient. I want to see the thing finished.
Well, we're almost done.
They're giving me a hard time.
Okay.
Say, chew, Bill, making fun of me.
So how long did it take? 45 minutes to do the rose?
Yeah.
And once you got one done, you could do them a lot faster. Yeah. Okay. So got that. Now the shimmers give me a little extra work time, but I'm still going to do a paste and peel, which means I pasted, so I'm going to peel it up so that my shimmer, so that my shimmer doesn't dry in the screen. And at first I kind of thought, oh, it's missing some spots, but it's meant to be kind of jagged. It's meant to look kind of rustic. So I'm gonna release it from the screen right now so it will stay on the surface. Ours called Impatience. You need to buy them. Joanne said there's flowers called Impatiens. You need to buy them. Okay, so I'm not going to push down where I've already chalked. I'm only going to push down where I still need to. Okay, and I'm going to clean this off. I'm going to use.
Well, somebody gave my phone number. No, it's getting sent to the wrong place.
Getting wrong numbers?
I'm getting a number that's not my phone number being texted to me saying from Red Robin in West Park, wherever that is.
Uh-oh. Are they buying dinner?
Yeah, they're buying dinner, and they're saying our wait list, our table is ready.
On our card?
Apparently, our table is ready.
They're not using our card.
We don't even have a Red Robin in this area. But apparently our table is ready, so.
Okay, well, we better get to getting. Okay, so this is Shimmer, what did I say? Shimmer Orchid. And again, the shimmers, I like to mix up those mica flakes. And I'm going to do this flower in Orchid. And this flower in Orchid.
That shimmer is going to look nice on the black.
Mm-hmm.
Should pop off real nice.
Okay, so if you don't feel like you have a steady enough hand to get these little edges without going into the wrong spot, you could always put down some painter's tape or some placement tape to cover that up, to give you a little insurance. Okay. So that, and I'm going to quickly do this other flower, and then I'll peel that up. And this is my favorite. This is Shimmer Rose Gold.
Yes, it is.
It is gorgeous.
It is definitely your favorite.
It is. Okay. Now our shimmers, I kind of like to come at it a couple different directions to make sure that shimmer, those mica flakes get pushed through the silk screen. So I'll come at it left to right, and then I'll go top to bottom. Clear off my excess, and I'm going to keep that out because I'm going to use that for the words. And paste and peel. Woohoo! What do you think? Pretty pretty. It's upside down. Sorry. Turn it around.
That's it. Easy.
Yeah. I wish you could see the sparkle in that rose gold. I'll hold it up. Maybe you can. Okay, so that's it for the flowers. Now let's quickly do the words, and again in rose gold. I just love this sentiment. You are handpicked by God. It reminds me of the bloom where you're planted. So God picked you and hand planted you, and that's where you need to bloom. Okay, and again, I'm going to come at it a couple different directions.
And what we were talking about on Wednesday night, the fact that nobody can do what God called you to do like you can. Your background, your successes and your failures are what he uses.
Woohoo!
That looks fabulous.
You've
done good.
I like it, I like it, I like it. Okay, let me get a little quick dry. So if you are interested in this transfer, the handpicked by God, if you type handpicked in the comments,
One word?
we will, one word, I think it's in the pinned comment so you can see how to spell it. Handpicked. My bot will send you a link to a cart link, and in that cart link will be this transfer. There's also one of these frames, and I have the 3 pots of shimmer paste. Those are kind of pricey, so the good thing about the cart link is you can take things out, put different things in. But I put in these shimmers because, I don't know, you might want to spoil yourself. Get yourself some shimmer. I also put in some, the single paste packets. Now, our paste packets don't come in all colors, so I think I substituted the rose gold for our shimmer melon, which does come in a paste single, and I think I used the meadow green And I put in some white because white looks really good with this. So let me see if I can pick up. Can you see that sparkle? Ooh, I think you can. Look at that sparkle in that rose gold. Now the others shimmer too, but not like that rose gold. I think I'm going to get me a couple of containers of that because they're probably going to retire it, and I'll be so sad.
You'll be out of luck.
Okay, so here is our sign. And again, it was something else just 15 minutes ago, but I switched that out. I'm going to clean this transfer.
So how are you cleaning it?
I'm going to spray it with water. I've got it down on a little dish drying mat. And I'm going to start with either a paper towel or this is, I forget what they're called, Swedish dishcloth. It's just like a really thick, kind of like a dishcloth, but biodegradable. It's like a reusable paper towel. And I'm just going to start by taking off that top layer of paste. Now, I will tell you, with shimmer, I will never get the shimmer. It's like glitter. I will never get the glitter completely off of this. I just want to make sure I get it out of the screen. And actually, the best way to clean up a transfer that you have used a shimmer is in the sink under running water. But I'm not going to go do that right now. Okay, so now I'm switching out to my board eraser, and this is going to grab the rest of that paste. I don't know if you can see the shimmer on there. I'm really just kind of moving that shimmer around. But again, I really just want it out of the stencil. It can sit there and shimmer on the surface as long as it's out of the transfer, out of the silk screen. I know what I'm trying to say.
You do.
So I flipped it over. Now I'm getting the paste off of the back. I'm also removing any of that fuzz that I put on. And I might still run this to the sink, but this is getting the bulk of that. This is getting the bulk of that shimmer and paste off. Okay, so I'm going to do it one more time, front and back.
Joanne says, I hope I can never wipe the shimmer off of me. Joanne, you will never be done with your shimmer.
Glitter in your veins. Okay, so I've got that clean. I'm going to let it air dry. Once it's air dried, I'm going to take it and put it back on its backer sheet, shiny side to sticky side, and then put it back in its cellophane little envelope. And that will keep it so that I can reuse it, guaranteed by the company 10 to 12 times if I take good care of it. And probably in actuality, I could use it even more than that. So if you purchase a stencil, don't think of it as you're only going to use it once. Make it for yourself. Make it as gifts. Make it as a t-shirt. Wouldn't that be cute as a t-shirt? I might have to make me a t-shirt.
Pull the roses back by it.
I'm going to. Do I want both roses or?
Yeah, just like that, baby.
Are they showing?
That is fine.
Well enough?
It looks good.
Okay, so this was our project tonight. I showed you, I didn't make you YouTube it yourself, and I showed you how to make them. You're welcome to go to YouTube and look at some of the other different techniques, but this is kind of a combination of a couple. And I'm actually going to go through and I'm going to fold some of those down, make it a little fuller. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Again, you can type in handpicked if you're interested in the stencil and the supplies. See how much the frame costs. Yes, we love your shimmer too, Joanne. Okay, I think that's it for tonight. Thanks for watching with us. Thanks for being here. I think we are just about to our halfway point for our Facebook deal of 10 hours of lives. I think this puts us over halfway tonight, so good. We should work on those stars. We didn't talk about stars. We'll talk about stars next time. Okay, shimmy. Shimmy. Oh, you guys are just getting silly. Look at all those hearts and thumbs ups.
Thumbs
Thank
and
you.
hearts.
Thank
Hearts
you
and
so
thumbs.
much. Okay. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. And if you make some of these, I want to see pictures of them. I want to see different colors. I was thinking maybe doing some yellows, maybe some reds, but I settled on that is actually couture coral. I don't know if I told you. That's couture coral. So anyway, pretty. Have a whole arrangement of them, and only and only pay it's only a couple of dollars because you get a whole big thing like this for $1 at the Dollar Tree. So you spend more on hot glue. Anyway, so I'm gonna pose.
Gambling halls.
I'm gonna pose.
Do your pose and say good night, Robin.
Good night, Robin.